everyone, and welcome to another episode of Eternal X Wolf Pack Paranormal. I am your host, Sean Ellis, and tonight we have a great group of people sitting backstage, and we're going to have an open round table on a discussion with the topic we're going to come up with here in a second. But I'd like to introduce everybody here one at a time. From Paranormal Investigator, she is the host of Paranormal Happy Hour and the host of Obsidian Hour. We have Lady Victoria Darkwood.
Hello.
How are you doing tonight, Victoria?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Sean?
I'm doing great. This is going to be a heck of a conversation with everybody that we have here tonight. We've got a lot of experience at the table tonight.
I will.
So we also have a paranormal investigator and the host of Raw Side Paranormal, Laura Wilbur.
Hi. How's it going?
Doing fine. How are you, Laura?
I'm surviving. Bad weather and all.
Bad weather and all. Yeah, I mean, it's cold. You can send the cold weather back.
Well, no, you can take the weather, the cold, and the snow because we get dumping on big time here, and it's not stopping.
Okay. We also have a paranormal investigator from Spectra Investigations and Paranormal Society and the Illinois Paranormal Research Group, Alfredo.
Hello.
How you doing, bud?
Doing well, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's the weather there? Still cold?
Pretty bitey. It's still in the negative temps. I've got
pretty bitey.
Keep you warm though.
That's awesome. Next, we have the co-founder in the heart of Illinois, the center of the unexplained phenomenon, 22 years of experience, the paranormal, the cryptid, the science of it all, and etc. We have Mr. David Salter. How you doing, Dave?
How you doing?
Doing fine. We got a couple more here. We got paranormal investigator, the host of Serene Divine and the author of The Bug's Life Before the Mafia. We have Ms. Pam Harris.
Hello, everyone.
We have a Reiki master and a paranormal investigator, Ms. Tammy Christian. She is one of my mentors, and she's the one that taught me how to do Reiki. She's an awesome person. Last but not least, the guy that, when I got into the paranormal field, this guy has taught me a lot. He does shamanic healing, aura photography, is a student teacher, the practitioner of energetic healing techniques, studied various forms of energy work, completed his 4-year medicine wheel journey, and was able to work through all the physical and emotional challenges that followed him throughout his life, shares his thoughts and ideas and etc. to all the open-minded people, Mr. Ed Mueller.
Wow, I'd like to meet that guy.
He sounds pretty cool.
You know, maybe you will one day, Ed.
Maybe a good one. Good one.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming on tonight. You know, I thought we'd kind of do a round table of maybe ethnics and how to enter space and respect and contact with spirits and stuff and what everybody thinks about it. How about you start off, Ed? What would you?
Well, I'm a shamanic energy worker. So I do a lot of helping people cleanse their houses of unwanted energies, disincarnate souls. Whenever I enter a person's house, I first create sacred space. I want to call in all my guides, all my helpers, so I'm safe, so the people in the house are safe, and so any energies that are in the house are also safe. I come with a level of reverence. I will set up an altar in the house to acknowledge a spirit that's with us. And then through shamanic journeying, we attempt to find the core of the problem and work with it.
Yes. Tammy, you have your own way of doing things as well. How would you do yours?
I try to work with energy. I mean, I have not been practicing for a while, but I'm feeling the energy coming back the last like week. Um, I'm more about I'm about healing your past and making sure that you can move forward in life because a lot of people Hi Alicia. A lot of people like to use their past as an excuse for their behavior in the now. And we need to heal ourselves in order to move forward. And that's a lot of the energies for the paranormal that happen that are negative. It's because we're not healing what we have in our past and we're attracting bad energy when we do that.
Oh, most definitely. I do agree with that. Pam.
Well, honestly, I'm more of connecting with spirit. But Tammy's right. We have to have a healing of our own self before we can help someone else. So if something comes up, we have to be able to protect us and everyone else. And if we're not healed ourselves, um, it's simply just not going to happen. So
I agree. I definitely agree. David, your thoughts?
Well, it's really something. I mean, this is actually my team. This is our team. With me personally, what I like to do before I go into an establishment is once in a while I do a lightning meditation because whatever you're feeling, a lot of times when you go through that threshold, they can pick up on things that you're thinking or your thoughts or how you're feeling. If you're stressed, they can pick up on that and then work off that. So I like to use a little bit of meditation. My teammates, they all have their own different ways, and nobody got to meet them. We'll just go around the room and
Yeah,
introduce
go for it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm Sylvia Schultz. I'm the historian. I have written several books of true ghost stories, and that is my specialty, is telling not only the ghost stories, but the history behind the stories. I really believe that you can't understand the ghost stories of a place without knowing the history behind them. And going into a place, I just treat it like I'm walking into a living person's home. I introduce myself to say, hey, this is me. I'm here to communicate with you. I'm here to visit and hopefully enjoy each other's company.
Oh, sorry. I'm Roger. Everybody calls me Hillbilly. I'm an investigator. I'm also ordained minister. So what I do before I walk in, I like to go into a space completely unaware of anything or any claimed activities. I'm kind of the team skeptic. I just kind of, do similar to what Dave does with the meditation. I just do a prayer and kind of just take all my stuff that's going on outside of what we're doing, just kind of push that out and just come in with a clean slate and kind of just let everybody know when we walk in that, we're not here to cause any harm, be respectful, and we just want to talk and communicate. And if there's anything we can do to help, we're willing to do that as well.
It's awesome.
Hi, I'm James. Everybody calls me Doc because I build a lot of weird things in my garage, like Doc Brown. I'm actually a third generation witch. Practiced my whole life, studied the paranormal my whole life. For protection of myself, meditation is a good one. I have a few different talismans I'll wear or carry on me that I've made. I offer blessings to the team whenever they want, especially if we know it's like a particularly heavy place or where known bad activity happens. But I only ever offer. I never, you really got to do this, because that would be rude too. For entering a space, I almost always introduce myself and why I'm there, and would love to just have a chat and communicate so that they know they're not forgotten. They know that somebody's there to give them a little bit of attention.
I should add too that there are talismans and crystals that I carry with me into a place, and especially if I know that there's a place with heavy energy. I've been studying herbalism for many, many years, and there is a tea that I make with strong herbs that I like to drink and just visualize the full moon water that I've used, the light of the full moon, infusing every part of my body after I've drunk it. And that's what if there's heavy energy, that's what I like to do. Little extra layer of protection.
Interesting. That is interesting.
I think you should share that with all of the investigators on here. That's a good thing to have.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
One of these days we'll have to meet up for that.
Yeah. I've got a story about that for a little later on if people want to hear it.
Okay. Laura, what is your method of entering a space?
Well, pretty much like everybody else. I go in there being very respectful. I say prayers of protection. And then when I go in, it's just have a general conversation like I'm speaking with the living. I always treat them like they are still here with us.
Mhm.
I am as well an ordained minister, have been for 15 years. And I take all of that with me as I go in. And it just respect is the utmost important thing in any space that you enter. And then also when I leave, I, bid them farewell and tell them that I'm pretty much looking forward to meeting up with them again because I go back to many places many times. And I do carry, some little charms with me also as added protection just in case, because I do a lot of cemetery work. So you never know what you're going to run into during a cemetery investigation.
Very, very true. Miss Victoria Darkwood.
Here we go. So I basically do the protection before I go into a residence or the place where I'm investigating. And I always bring my spirit guides with me. I've met them at a very young age. And I don't use a lot of equipment, just simple tools, because I basically like using myself as a tool. I'm clairvoyant as well as intuitive. So I just basically go into place, kind of feel itself out, and definitely be respectful. I don't do any provoking at all.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't do either, for sure. Alfredo, is there any procedure you do before you go into an investigation?
I like to go in with as little information as possible about the location, just because I walk that fine razor's edge of using technical equipment as well as my own intuition. I've only begun investigations at the beginning of this year, but I've always been had paranormal experiences throughout my life, and have had experiences that I couldn't quite explain as far as connections with the other side. I have found it to be best for me when I go into a location where I go in with bare minimum equipment. I do have a bachelor's degree in electronic engineering technology, so I know what the equipment is supposed to do and what it's not supposed to do, what readings we're looking for as far as atmospheric readings and what we're not looking for. And if we really want to get down to technical, I could crunch numbers if we need to, but that takes a lot of the connection out of the location that you're at, especially intuitive as well. So that's where it's like, do I continue on this path of continue on with my educated mind on an investigation, or should I fall back upon my own spirituality, my own skills and abilities on the investigation? So trying to find that balance between the two, it's really tricky, but it's good for confirming results at a location if a location is haunted, or if a name comes up, or if I feel all of a sudden ringing in my right ear, or a pull on the back of my head, or some type of sensation. I I like to sit and even be quiet. I like to investigate on my own, which is a big, as investigators, we're not supposed to investigate on our own, but I like to explore places on my own because I find more connection that way. And when I notice when I'm not recording data, trying to record data is when I have the most experiences that I can say I just had an experience with, a cold spot, or I'm hearing whispering or a growling, or I see something. I find it to be more of an experience just going in without equipment than it is with equipment.
Right. True. I can find good and bad points about going in by yourself. And I know I've discussed that with many people before. I like going in with my crystals, and I do some meditation work before and energy work before I go into a space to create that safe zone for me and the protection, and call upon my guardians as well to come help me. And it is very effective. How do you think our responsibilities in general should be when we come into an environment where we have spirits that want to cross or don't want to cross? Should we cross them or not? I mean, what's you guys' opinions on that? Let's start out with Tammy.
I think they have free will.
Agree.
Yep.
Yes.
100%.
I don't think that it's up to someone to actually cross them. They have their own will and they can do it. They don't actually need someone to push them through that. I think they have the free will that they can actually do that themselves. And if you're there with good intent and they know that, and trust me, they will know or not, I believe that they can do it themselves too. I believe the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I might take just a little issue with that. I agree with you about free will, absolutely.
Yeah.
But there are spirits that are stuck and do not know how to move forward. And that's where we can be of great service to help them.
Absolutely.
But we can ask them, and they will tell us if they're stuck. If we ask, they're going to tell us.
I've had spirits that don't feel worthy, that they've done something terrible in this life. I've had spirits that are just having fun, but it's time for them to get their journey going again.
Yeah.
So there's not a one size fits all with this. I agree with you about the free will, but for the most part, when I'm called to a house, I'm called there to help spirit move forward.
Yeah, I just don't think it should be a forced thing. That should be.
I don't think you can force spirit.
No,
Sometimes
I don't think so either. But some people, think that they're actually going to force, and I don't think that's actually the
can't
case.
Force.
No,
totally agree.
Yeah.
I would never be that presumptuous to try to force a spirit.
Yeah.
It'll backfire.
Oh yeah, that's what I was
exactly.
just gonna say. That'll backfire, and you might have an entity connected to you after that.
Yeah.
I think just giving them the information that they need, that's where their free will comes in.
In shamanic work, we offer the spirits the opportunity to go to one of three different realms.
Right.
With their journey in the lower world, and it's explained to them what the lower world is, to continue their journey in the upper world, or go to the void, where they can get additional healing and information on how they want to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Victoria, your thoughts?
God, I practically agree with everybody. It's they have the will to leave or stay. I mean, I see some people trying to provoke them to leave against their will. So, and then, some places that are haunted, necessarily like the owners want you to help the spirits to leave.
Right.
So, it's because that's how they make their money, in all honesty, so.
Yeah.
That's going to bring some bad karma later.
That's another
Yeah.
subject.
Yeah. David, your team, what do you think?
You want to start off?
Well, sure. One of the places that I have had by far the most experience with is the Peoria State Hospital, and our lead historian there, when she's doing tours and starting off the investigation for whatever evening they're doing, she always says, please do not attempt to cross our spirits over. The Peoria State Hospital was an asylum, and people came there for help. And she was like, that's why they're still here, is because they have safety here. So don't cross them over. They don't want to go. This is their home. So yeah, don't even try to, please don't. Please let them be where they feel safe.
Okay. Alfredo.
The way I see it, I tried to picture myself as I find myself as a sovereign soul, as a sovereign being myself. No one's going to tell me where I'm going to go, who I'm going to worship, and what I'm going to fall in line to. That's up to me. It's my free will.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at that as the spirits as well. They each have their own free will as well. You can try to convince them to believe that you can contain them or direct them, but ultimately they have to believe. They have to act on that faith themselves, which is their own free will. Just like I know I would have to act on my own. So that's how I feel about that.
I know that I've had an experience where we've been on an investigation where a spirit was holding other children's spirits captive, and we definitely had to do something drastic for that and get rid of the one there. And once we got rid of that bad one that was keeping them all there, we actually had 13 names come over at the Ovilus when they left of the kids' names that were there. Some of those spirits, like I said, if you're bad in life, you're bad in the next world in some aspects.
Well, there was also the woman who killed her children.
Right. That is true. But I have come across things like that where we've had to do something drastic. And but now, since those times have passed, I look at things a little different as well. But knowing that they were kids' spirits there trapped, I wanted to help them get out and get on their path again, because the things that were being said in that house coming over for the EVPs was like murder, rape, kill, and things like that. And it was coming from kids' voices. And that to me has to be taken care of. Anything that has to do with spirits of a kid or a child comes priority in my book. So, and it has to be dealt with.
Yeah, and usually if they need help, they'll let you know. I mean, they know if you can help them or not. I mean, I believe that they can.
They know you're going to be there before you know you're going to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely so.
Could I expand on something that Alfredo was saying?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure. He was talking about how he feels like he's a sovereign soul, and I believe that as well. I mean, like I said, I'm a Christian, and he's a third generation witch, and you usually don't see us mixing together too often out in the wild, But the beliefs that I hold are completely different than the beliefs that he holds. So I view spirits as kind of people without bodies. I mean, they aren't physically here anymore. Their energy is still here, and sometimes they do get stuck. And when you kind of come in there and you start, for better terms, kind of harassing them that they need to do this, you're going to get some pushback sometimes. Now, on the flip side of that, we're talking about a human-based entity. you start pushing into the other side of that. And I think we kind of do have some realm over that. I mean, in my beliefs anyways, but with as far as, spirits holding other spirits back, sometimes they're stuck. Sometimes they don't even know that they're not even here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're just kind of stuck in a loop and kind of having amnesia. So I know you were.
I have unfortunately I've had some cases
Sure.
where there have been some really bad vibes in a place, and I've helped people to get them to leave. And this house, the night I got the keys to the house 9 years ago, I'm not sensitive, but I can kind of pick up on something. And I thought, it feels like there's somebody else here. So I said, okay, I'm the new owner. I don't mind, friendly spirits being in the home, but if you're going to cause trouble, I can and will make you leave. I don't want to have to do that. Unfortunately, I did have to do that because it knocked over a bookshelf when we were babysitting a toddler. I was like, nope, not putting up with this anymore.
Like I said, when it comes into protecting a young child, then yeah, that's priority in my book, especially if things are
Absolutely.
coming around. I mean, we've even had some where we went to a young child's place that they had portals in their house, and the things were coming through her bedroom, and she was having bad dreams. And we ended up shutting down the portals for that reason, and giving her a dream catcher, a new dream catcher, replaced it with that, and christened her room. And she never had problems afterwards, but there was a lot of energy coming through those portals in her room, and she was getting a lot of bad dreams that night, but we got that to stop. But when it comes to children, that's, to me, that in my book, that's priority overall. So
they're such an open book. They see things most often adults don't. So they don't know how to close that off and keep that from getting to them.
very
So
true.
my house has 9 spirits between the house and outside. There are 9. I have had to place some boundaries on some of them and they choose to stay where they're at, but some of them are protectors of the land where I live. There's a Native American chief. Sean's experienced it, and the power of that energy when you walk through that tree is amazing. And Ed, you were there too. That power is that it's such a positive energy there. Hi, Victor. But none of them want to cross over.
Well, I've always been of the mind of
Allow them to stay, but I have placed boundaries.
if they're not being a big
I have one
problem,
that can be a little belligerent. He's not allowed in my bedroom.
I've always been in line. If they're not causing a big problem, let them be. Let them where they're comfortable. And I only removed. I think there's still some spirits here in the house because I've heard them moving around. But I only removed focusing on the one that was just being trouble. It's like, oop, I'm not putting up with this. But
Well,
other than that,
this one was very sexually belligerent, and I had to tell him he could not come in my room or my bathroom anymore when I was changing.
this is a good boundary to have.
It was. I don't. Sean, were you there when that happened?
Yeah, I was there the 4th of July when everything went berserk too.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. No, you weren't there the night that the guy was talking about that. I had to kick him out my bedroom.
Yeah, I was there. We were all there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I think Alicia was even there that night.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, and I mean he's still here, but he's in checkmate. I place those boundaries.
Yeah, I've got boundaries around my house as well. I've got about 6 of them in my house. That
I wouldn't cross Tammy either.
and
Nothing
Tammy,
can scare me.
Tammy's the one that showed me how to put the boundaries around my house when I first got into the paranormal field, and some of the things I've encountered. So, but yeah, I've got 6 of them here, and I just let them be because they're not causing any problems. And I know a couple of them are kids, and they pull stuff off my walls up in my game room for their entertainment purpose. But every time I hang it back up, they pull them straight off the walls again. And but otherwise, I know they're not causing any issues. So, but yeah, if they're not bothering anything and that's where they want to be, that's fine with me. I'm not going to force
It's
it.
interesting that the dead are better at respecting boundaries than some of the living are.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. What do you
Yeah,
believe
but I
in
think
about?
that when we're spiritual and we have that spiritual power, I think they know we have
Yeah,
more
they know.
strength than they do. I mean, more spiritual strength. We can just ban them and make them leave.
They can tell.
Yeah, I know. One of the other things is capturing them. What are your views on capturing them?
Mm.
I don't capture. I cross over. I don't. And this is just me. To capture a spirit in some sort of a crystal
Victor.
or a jar and condemn
Yeah.
them there for eternity doesn't feel right to me.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that
I
is.
will occasionally put a spirit in a crystal and then on a full moon help to cross it over. But I don't capture.
I did capture one really, really bad entity. The person thought it was a demon and was really tormenting her and this and that. And I actually used a geode because it's, a crystal and it's a hollow sphere, and they're actually really good. I didn't like doing it, but I didn't feel like I had any other option.
What have you done with the boat?
Sorry.
I buried it at a crossroad.
I had a friend who trapped a spirit that was causing great harm. He trapped her in a mausoleum and tied he had a crucifix around his neck, and he tied the crucifix around the bars of the mausoleum and came back. He couldn't deal with her that day. He wanted to take her and release her somewhere where she couldn't do any harm anymore. And when he came back just 2 days later, that silver chain was tarnished gray from the power of the entity. And he did take her somewhere and release her. And she actually found, she was able to cross over, and she had done horrible, horrible things in life with the Cambodian army, I believe. So she showed remorse for that, and
So she was
able
holding on to a lot of guilt, and that's what makes a lot of these negative entities is that they feel so guilty.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, she did, but she was able to let that go and able to cross over after that.
The one I dealt with did not feel any remorse, unfortunately. It was delighting in causing trouble.
Oof.
I don't deal in the capturing, so.
I don't think
Again,
that
I
that's a
personally wouldn't
decision
be
for. Yeah, that's not a decision that I would make at all.
Laura,
Had a reason to capture anything.
No, never done that. I don't believe that I have the right to do that, to
Me
capture a spirit and encase it in something, like you said, for eternity. If it's possible to cross over, then yeah, I'm there to help. But like you said, the majority of them either don't know that they have passed on, or they are using free will to stay here. And I don't do any capturing.
Alfredo?
Yeah, I wouldn't find a reason to. I don't have a reason to want to capture anything. No, I don't see any reason in doing it myself personally.
Lady Victoria?
I don't feel honestly comfortable capturing them. Yeah, if they're free spirit, if they want to go into the light, we'll help them. But otherwise, they have a freedom of choice. If they want to stay or they want to go. I mean, I just feel that we shouldn't be capturing them.
Yeah,
Now, my experiences, and I know Ed and Tammy's both been to the location. We had a major issue with one, and that one we did entrap, and I did get rid of it that night because it kept giving that boy a very bad. The kid was cussing.
The house came back in its place.
Yeah, and we did take care of it that night. We were there. And the night that he was wanting to scratch and maim and kill his stepdad and stuff like that, something had to be done with that one. When it comes down to that point and it's jeopardizing and threatening other people, then I don't have an objective with it. But otherwise, I don't do the trapping anymore unless it's something very dangerous and needs to be gone and dealt with. Because
you can ask the spirit and put it into a geode or a crystal and get it away from the situation, and then later release it.
Yeah. Like I said, since then I've done things a lot different. But that night, during the situation,
crazy night.
Yeah, when he picked up that lawnmower and bounced the front end of that about 13 times like a basketball, and it's a 3-blade mower. That's pretty.
He was a small child. I mean, he was small for his age.
Oh yeah. And like I said, you were there when we were going through that phase with him and getting rid of that spirit out of him, and that was.
Didn't we burn some of the artifacts from the house in the backyard to release the energies that night?
No, that was the night that you released the first attachment to him, the man that was there that died in the house, remember? And attached to him. That's the night we got rid of him.
There was a garage a few doors down.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one Tammy and Mark was at that night. And
that was.
Yeah. That one was the really super bad night. I mean, you did. I mean, Ed, you got him to walk away.
My protectors drew me away from it. My protectors, my angel protectors, they said, "Leave, go away."
Mm-hmm.
That night.
And but the first night I met Ed, the night we were on the team, and he got the man to leave the attachment when he hugged the boy and hugged the mom and said he was sorry. And walked out of the back room that night. That's the night we got rid of some of the bad energy stuff and the weird looking doll face he picked up that had a lot of strange energy on it as well. And that was definitely an interesting night as well. I mean, I learned a lot from that night as well. So, but
I think you have to look at it as, where do we draw the line as investigators? Do we have I don't want to say the right to capture something? I mean, I think if something's hurting somebody, then you kind of have to look into the other side of that. Is that actually a human spirit, or is that something else pretending to be a human spirit? That's where it kind of gets fuzzy. But as far as capturing them goes, I don't really think we have the right to, like we said, encase them forever in an object or anything. I think that you can put a hedge of protection around a family or a place, even if that spirit's still around. If it's an actual human spirit, you can push that thing out of there to where it can't come in to that family or that person and cause
unless the mother keeps bringing it back.
That's a whole nother.
That was the issue that was going on there. The mother kept inviting it back,
and the boyfriend had something to do with it as well.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and
it was the only one that it was affecting the worst was that child, and he was he was tortured.
Unfortunately, they tend to be kind of predatory at that point. So that's what I think. You really need to kind of push what you can do.
Yeah, like I said, that night, I think what we did that night was called for. due to the circumstances and the protection of the child that night, because like I said,
I think he was 12 at the time.
yeah.
12 or 13.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely situational.
Yeah.
And most of the time, that's not necessary. I view it as an extreme. Like I said, there was a long time ago when I was a much angrier ghost hunter, but I've only done it the once where I actually captured something.
Yeah, and that would definitely have to be case by case. I mean,
Oh yeah, most definitely, I do agree with that. As well.
One of the captures, the
The
kids went out
reasons
and dug it up.
I've never
Wow.
gone out
That's right.
to speak to trap one or had a reason to. So, but if something like that came up, most definitely I would do everything I can in my abilities to get help for that individual. Most definitely.
Oh yeah.
I've also seen cases where, the people are manifesting something that's not there. So, you
That is
really
what was
have to
going
be
on
able
in
to,
that situation. The mother was manifesting.
yeah. So you have to be able to distinguish that,
Make a
so you can teach them about what they're doing.
Yeah, most definitely.
I would say try and give them a choice too.
Yeah.
Look, you're either going to have to knock it off or I'm going to have to get more extreme. I don't want to do that. It wouldn't knock it off. All right, well, I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because some people just, it's almost, some people need chaos to survive. So it's kind of like that. It's their
I think that
manifestation.
was the situation.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Not the child, but he was just, the poor kid was, he was a victim of the
Yeah.
mother who was
Right.
Right.
The person I did
making
it,
the
she was
drama
just
going on.
she was just a conduit or a lightning rod. She attracted so much, and it's like, you gotta
And I'm
close
not
yourself
saying she
off.
was a bad person. She was
Right,
she was
right.
not a bad person. She was going through it too.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And they can attach so easily too, especially if they find a 1 weak link and they found it in the mother. They're going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they feed off the bad energies within the home, and it's
Yeah.
just put those elements together.
just keeps perpetuating.
Something good's not going to come out of it.
Yeah, it just builds.
Right.
Like I said, I think the night that we did that, I think it was what we did was called for. But like I said, over time, I've learned different methods and different ways of doing things, and more open about it is in the fact of so. In
I
other
don't
ways
think
to deal
anybody
with it.
here could understand what happened when we went to the garage there. It was
It was intense.
It was intense. There were people that were dragged. They were swinging metal objects. It was something that you would think you would only see in a movie, and something was trying to kill some of us.
Yeah.
It was trying to keep us out of there, wasn't it? Most definitely.
Yeah.
I've
For
heard the
sure.
story. Yeah.
So,
Which brings
That was
Crazy.
very disturbing. That was very disturbing. I mean, the first time I went there when, he like in a different voice says, "I killed your cat," and had no idea that my cat had been taken. There was definitely some demonic energy going on there. Some severe demonic energy. But I think but there was more beyond that. There was more behind it that that kid was a victim of all of that. It wasn't him and his
Right.
some other people, I'm just going to say that. Other people in his family were putting it all on him, and he was taking on the guilt of that.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't his fault.
Wow.
So, but I think we got the situation straightened out there, and we gave him all the help we can. And I know
He's doing okay now, I hope.
Yeah, because I know we've talked to him on occasions throughout the years, and like I said, I've checked on him, and he's been doing really well. And I'm glad he's doing better.
I can tell that everybody here has really benefited the houses that they've gone to help balance the energy in it. And we can only do what we can do. I've done house after house, and again, just like everybody else, I'll call up the next day. How's it going? Well, it's going okay. By the third day, the energy's back because the person has invited that energy back. I do my darndest to teach people how to protect themselves, protect their houses with crystal grids, to do their own protection. But there's only so much we can do.
Right.
They have to be willing to do right for themselves.
Yeah.
And
right.
unfortunately, that's going to affect their children, and the innocents have no say in that. But until they get to the age where they can do something different.
Right.
Most definitely. I think we're all in agreement with some of that as well. You know, like I said, I know we do everything a little differently, and we all do it different because that's what works for us. Everybody's got their own method. Closing out an investigation. Let's start with David's crew up there in the corner. How do you guys close out your investigations when you get ready to leave?
Depends on what we're doing and how we're doing it. And also depends on if we are at the point where, you know, some of us feel like, okay, we're ready to close it out. And then there's some of us that at the last minute, they feel something. So it kind of continues a little bit. I think we all have our different ways of closing out. That's why I think we have a well-rounded team. We kind of feed off each other.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
But we also, you know, I like to try to say, you know, we will be leaving, and this is the part where we've allowed you to express, giving you a voice. We've heard your message, and when I leave, you're not allowed to come with me.
Oh, yeah, that's very important.
Very, very important.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a piano where you guys are at, David?
No.
I just
heard like a deep D.
Yeah.
That might be the spirits just saying we agree.
Is that your tummy?
Yeah, it sounded like a piano though. That's crazy.
Well, it's funny. The reason I said I think there's still spirits here because I focused on the one spirit and any bad energy. I actually thought Sylvia had left her dog here. I was using the bathroom and I heard something moving around upstairs. So I texted her, "Did you leave the dog here?" And she goes, "No, I took her home." And I said, "Well, and who the heck's making that noise upstairs?"
Yeah, that's crazy. And I also seen a flash of light behind Laura a few minutes ago. I don't know if anyone else seen it, but it happened twice.
Oh.
Like a blink of light, like
deep
a camera, like a camera light. Crazy. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys.
No, that's okay. As far as closeout, like Dave said, we kind of all have our own thing. And like you said, it's very, very important that you draw that line and that boundary that we came to visit and now we're going to leave. But, you know, unless you're going to move on, you have to stay here. I have some younger teenage boys that have been out impressing the girls, taking them out to all the haunted locations by our house. We live right down the hill from the old state hospital, Peoria State Hospital in Bartonville. And one of them brought something home. I'm still trying to get out of the house. But,
Oh no!
Yeah, that's your wife.
Not that one. But yeah, I mean, just let them know, hey, you know, we either enjoyed our time here with you, even if we didn't. But this is where we part ways. I know I will say a blessing on myself and my team before I leave. Just to kind of close everything out. That way, anything that's there's not supposed to go with us stays with the property. Same thing with the vehicles. I'll say it again when we get to the cars to go home.
I always thank them for their time, thank them for putting up with us, and say you are not allowed, very firmly, you are not allowed to follow us home. You are to stay here. You are not welcome to follow.
Yeah. Well, I'm a very
Mhm.
naturally polite person, so I just treat it as just another visit. I say, thank you for having me. Thank you for communicating with me. Thank you for taking the time to spend the evening with me. And yes, you are absolutely not allowed to come with.
Mhm.
I'm leaving now. Thank you for your hospitality. I'm leaving. You may not come with.
There's one other thing. A lot of people don't think about it, but
I just saw that like.
an important thing for that is the equipment you use. A lot of people don't think it can happen that way, but they can attach themselves to some of the equipment you use,
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
that falls into that realm to attachment. So you also got to be aware of how much equipment you take in, what you take in, and properly make sure you cleanse that equipment as before you're leaving. As you're leaving,
Yeah, some of those are condos.
That is a good call. I've not thought of that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know it does go through like your laptops and etc. I've seen spirits and stuff do that as well, affect them as well. So yeah, that is very, very true.
I mean, down to the
That's
candles.
energy.
because it could be a trigger object.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely so. Susan, Victoria, your thoughts?
I would say the same thing. I mean, I thank them for their time, but again, I tell them that they can't go with me. I mean, Julie had a question saying, how do you really have any control over it? If you can say stay, but it's not guaranteed. But I haven't had any like issues with that. I just tell them that, they cannot come with me, but I also like cleanse my car as well beforehand. Just to be sure that, they don't come into my car as well.
The thing is, we have free will too. I know they do. We do too.
Boundaries.
If we don't allow them to come with us, they
Right.
can't. They just
Right.
can't.
Yeah.
Pam, your thoughts?
Same thing with y'all. Just thanking them, being respectful, just like you would with a living person. So, and things like this round table is wonderful. I think we can learn from each other, which is great. And I appreciate all of you.
Mm-hmm.
Laura,
Love the acceptance of so many different beliefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
Right.
Laura, your thoughts?
Pretty much the same. Whereas I always treat, no matter where I go and who I am dealing with the utmost respect. Because you've got to remember they were living at one point in time, so you just treat them like you want to be treated. That's just the bottom of the line there. Again, yes, I do when I leave wherever I am, even if it's a residential, abandoned building, cemetery, mostly cemetery, because it is a resting place.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always, thank them for their time and letting me visit with them. And then I look forward to coming back and visiting again, because most of the places I go are, 1800s, 1700s cemeteries. So, they're mostly forgotten. So I'm there to just share my time with them, and I thank them for it, and hope they welcome me back. And again, yes, I do prayer before I leave the area. And the only equipment I bring is a camera and a digital recorder. So yeah, I make sure that that's all taken care of. But I do agree with Julie. There are no guarantees,
Right.
because you don't know who you're dealing with. So even if, we have free will, they have free will, it could be something that's, a little on the grouchy side and still might end up following you home.
Well, I also want to say that, just as in life, you don't know what that person has been through, what they're going through.
Exactly.
So you don't know what kind of day they've had or what kind of life they lived. So just like living people.
And they could be just, existing in that, that anger.
Yeah.
On what you accept to come
what you accept.
Right. And I also, stress the point, you have to stay here. This is where you belong now, and you are not allowed to follow me home.
Mm-hmm.
So, and so far, I've never had any problems.
Mm-hmm.
And the flashlight is probably one of my spirits that are in my house.
Alfredo, your thoughts, my friend.
It varies on location and what the investigation is for. I mean, if it's a normal investigation at like quarters one when I'm with Illinois Paranormal, I thank the spirits that are there for allowing me to spend time with them, to sit there in the dark by myself in the basement or upstairs on the third floor. I thank them for their time, for allowing me to have that experience with them. If I'm going to the cemetery, which I frequently do at Riverside Cemetery, which is a very popular one here in the Quad Cities. It's the resting place of John Deere, also the resting place of Charles Dickens' son, Francis Dickens. So there's some notable people that are resting at that cemetery, and that's where I got my start. I was investigating at Riverside officially, and I have the utmost respect for cemeteries, specifically that one, and I always thank them when I arrive and when I leave. Now, when I'm working at an actual residential, private residential, and if it's an unwanted spirit, I make it known that spirit's not welcome there, and I give evidence that I did capture. Leave it with the owners of the home, the family. I give them, for example, the tapping on the walls, and then the ceilings that we would hear. In this one case that we had pest control come out free of charge, did a full inspection, didn't find any evidence of rodents or any type of any living creature living there. So there was something going on.
Right.
Leave them with I leave them with a surety that if they ever need to come back to help them, then I always follow up with them. Like first it started out with a week, then it was like a month. Now we're going on every 6 months. We're in contact now, and they haven't had any instances there whatsoever with the negative entity that they were experiencing. And they did follow through with some instructions of if they notice anything tapping, don't pay attention to it. Don't feed into any energy. Just focus on something else. And I tried to leave the family with some type of instruction as to avoid these happenings, unwanted energies again. And if they do want positive energies, then there's different routes to invite more positive spirits into your home, if that's what you want. But there's got to be some type of instruction left behind. You just don't leave them hanging.
We can choose to bring positive or negative energy into our lives by the vibration and the understanding and what we invite. We can be victims and bring negative energy in, or we can decide that we're going to have a good life and bring positive energy in. That's up to us.
Yeah.
Very true. Ed, final thoughts.
I do what everybody else does. Absolutely. I close sacred space. I say a prayer. I do not allow spirit to travel with me. Everybody's saying free will, free will. Well, I have free will, and I have pretty good boundaries. Those people who know me know that. The other thing I do is I respect the spirits that want to stay with the house and the property. Think about it. Many times new people come in and they change things around, and it stresses the energy, the spirits that are there. So it's as simple as a tribute, maybe a water fountain in the backyard or some new shrubs, or leaving a room the way it has been. The respect goes a long way. I did one house in Peoria where a gentleman had committed suicide. He wasn't dangerous to anybody, and he didn't want to leave, but they didn't want him messing with the children anymore. So we figured out his favorite holiday was Christmas, which is coming up on us now. And I asked them to put the Christmas tree up and keep it up all year. synth all year long. Since they've done that, they've had no instances of his mischievousness, and they've called me to say that from time to time they can hear him playing with the ornaments on the tree. So contact the spirits that are in the house, see what might make them happy. Um, because basically we're intruding upon them.
Interesting. I know when I get ready to leave an investigation, I always close it out with some energy work, and I use selenite wands and cut everything away. I also have had some things follow me home. I've had a gin follow me home before, and it's caused some damage to some things. And before I even found out what it actually was, before I could take care of it. And but that's another story for another time. But yeah, definitely set up your boundaries for sure. Keep your energy high, and yeah, and set the boundaries for what you want it to be, because then you can tell them, they're going to stay here. So we are at the top of the hour. I'd like to thank everybody who joined tonight on the first session of this roundtable. I hope a lot of people learned some things tonight, because I know there was a lot of teams I've talked to before that really never knew how to enter a space, close a space, or what to actually expect from some stuff. But I do know there's a lot of great teams out there I've talked to over the years, and I have a lot of respect for them as well. And they do a great job. So, and all you guys here, I have a lot of respect for each and every one of you. And in fact, I've learned a lot from all of you at one point or another. And I've got Alfredo and David and his team up here I'm going to work with eventually here in the future again, and with David's team. And I definitely like to work with Laura and Ms. Victoria Darkwood as well in the future. That's on my bucket list next year for teaming up with Susan and them, because she does a great job as well. And I've teamed up with Pam before as well. But yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you coming on tonight. And thank you for your opinions and your input.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
And next week we'll have a new topic, and then the third session we'll have another one. Get ready for it, because I know the third one we're going to be talking about fake evidence.
Oh boy,
ratings.
That's gonna be a long one.
in the BS,
That's gonna be a dramatic one.
Yeah, it's going to be more than an hour.
But that's what I'm aiming for the round table for number 3. So
that's only going to be an hour. That's only going to be an hour.
Yeah, that could be
days. We might be able to stretch that one. We might be able to stretch it depending on how deep the conversation goes. But I mean, we're not going to say names and throw people under the bus. But the fact is, we do know who does it, and we're all in
there are
this.
A lot of showboaters out there.
We're in this for the
knowledge. A lot of entertainers.
Mm-hmm. There
you go. Paranormal entertainers.
But
we always get the question that from time to time that you don't expect from people, depending on where you are, what you're doing, things like that. Things that just, we asked to do a con. We did a con, and we did a what was that? A
panel sort of
presentation. And I had an 80-year-old gentleman come up to the booth, and he asked me, he goes, mind you, he's 80 years old. He's got a cane. He looks at me and goes, I think my house is haunted. I said, what brought you to this idea that your house is haunted? He goes, my wife's there.
No, wait a minute.
How can you not enjoy that?
I feel like there are a lot of people feeling that way.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Funny.
So, but like I said, thank you everybody for coming on tonight, and I'm looking forward to having you all back next week, and for the second part of this. And I hope you guys have a good Christmas and etc. as well. And thank you everybody that was in the chats tonight. I know we had a lot of people, and thanks for stopping in and watching the show tonight as well. So
Love y'all.
Thank you, Sean. Thank
everybody have a great night. And
Thank
if
you,
you want to
Sean.
stick,
Happy holidays.
if you want to
Happy
stick
holidays.
backstage, we'll sit and chat for a little bit after the show. But next week, the second part to the round table of the 3-part series. So stop in next week. Everybody have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.